The Lute of the Blind Witch. Rydel was a musician of great promise, with hands quick as hummingbirds and a heart full of fiercely ambitious dreams. He practiced night and day, convinced he was destined to be the greatest musician the world had ever known. Yet, his talent felt incomplete, a beautiful river still searching for the sea. He listened to whispers of a legend, the blind witch, Isolde, who lived far up the obsidian mountains in a deep, spiraling cave. They said she possessed a lute, woven from the very hair of souls. Ambition tugged at him harder than any string. He gathered his courage and climbed the jagged paths until he reached the mouth of the cave. The air grew cold, and the silence was heavy, broken only by the drip, drip, drip of mineral water. Deep within, he found Isolde, the blind witch. She sat on a throne of jagged crystal, her eyes milky white, and cradled the legendary instrument. Rydel knelt before her in the gloom and begged, "Teach me to play as well as you. Give me that sound." Isolde smiled, a thin, knowing twist of her lips. "Yes, young musician. I can give you the sound of forever, but great music requires a great exchange, a payment drawn not in gold, but in value." She placed the dark, shimmering lute in Rydel's hands. He plucked the first string. The resulting melody was not just sound, it was the very essence of joy and sorrow combined. So beautiful it made the cave stones weep dust. But as the last note faded, the memory of his mother's kind face vanished from his mind. The pain of the loss was brief, swallowed by the intoxicating call of the perfect music. He played again, a complex, soaring passage that spoke of mountains and oceans. When the final chord resonated, he searched his heart for the memory of his quick-witted sister, but she was gone. He kept playing. He told himself it was necessary. For the sake of the music, he sacrificed the shared laughter of his childhood friends, the trusted faces of his mentors, and the comfort of his home. Each perfect note drew the string tighter, twisting his soul. Finally, he lifted his fingers from the final, faultless note. It was the summit of sound, the zenith of music. Silence fell, absolute and cold. Rydel smiled, ready to celebrate his triumph, but he stopped. He looked at his hands. Who were they? He realized he remembered no one. Not his sister, not his friends, not even the ambitious young man named Rydel. Isolde moved toward him, her footsteps silent on the stone floor. She gently placed her cool, ancient hand upon his unremembering heart. "You have reached the summit of sound, musician, you have paid the price in full. The world will never hear a melody so flawless again," she whispered. "But tell me, who will you share it with? Music that has no one left to be heard by, music that costs all love, is just an empty, worthless echo." Rydel, the man who was nameless, gently laid the lute of the blind witch back onto the crystal throne. He turned without a word, left the cave, and walked down the mountain path, carrying nothing but perfect, meaningless silence.